So I'm going to click in here to the resources. A few notes on GAP audits. These are voluntary, and that usually it means you've gotten big enough or have a customer who wants you to go through this verification process before you're able to sell to them. Most commonly what we see is when small, medium farmers decide to get to a grocery store or through some kind of intermediary or a food hub or a broker, they'll say you need to get a GAP certification, which means you have to go through the audit. There are many audit bodies out there. It comes really down to the discretion of the produce buyer. They all have their preferences. I'm going to focus on USDA GAP because it's pretty prevalent. The other two big ones I wanted to show you real quick, they really only apply if you're selling in volume to big chains, but this is called Global GAP. They have what's called integrated food assurance for fruits and vegetables. That's this IFA. They all have their own terms, but essentially it's the same thing, just auditing your farm and your processes to a standard. When we go through USDA, it's the same thing. They'll have their checklist and things you have to do on this one if you want to go through Global GAP. Another one is Primus GFS. This is version 3.2, same thing. You'll go to the website. They'll have different checklists, what your education work experience, it goes through the whole gamut. That's the primary three. And then there are a plethora of small, local, and other bodies that kind of get certification through these to be able to do audits. But again, at the end of the day, it comes back to your buyer. We're going to focus on USDA, specifically GAP GHP. You'll see this table here shows the three different audit body or three different schemes within USDA that you can do. So there's GAP GHP, harmonized GAP, and then a harmonized GAP plus. Each one, as it goes up the ladder, is a little more entailed, and it meets you more different criterias. We're going to focus on GAP GHP just as a broad overview, because if you can get this one okayed, it is the entry level one that's the easiest to get your feet wet with, so to speak. The bad news is these services are not free. I'm pretty sure the last time I looked at the hourly rate, it was $109 or $114 per hour. USDA charges that for travel, time spent on the farm, time spent reviewing your food safety plan, and any follow-ups or administrative things. In Kansas, we've seen the audits running, same thing with Missouri, depending on how much travel there is and how much prep you do, anywhere from 1,200-ish to 2,800, 2,900. We had one grower who was kind of way out north central Kansas, and that one was a little bit more because of travel. That ran $3,500. So that's why generally people don't endeavor down this path unless they have a little bit of volume and a buyer who's requesting it. All right, I'm going to show you the audit first.